Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today. But if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on do our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. This channel, GBoot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace.
Of due process in America. For approximately 2 years now, I have gone on a painstaking quest to investigate the rise and fall of an American icon, Bill Cosby. In the mid-1980s, there was not a star that was higher than Cosby. Advertisements with Coca-Cola, Jello, Kodak, along with the #1 television show for 5 straight years in a row. On Thursday nights, it was must-see TV on NBC. Cosby resurrected the genre of the traditional family sitcom that was once thought dead by television critics. He did this as a Black American with an all-Black cast and showed mainstream network executives in white America that it was possible to be successful without showing the worst in people. He also demonstrated the power that television had, as it can make younger people dream to be the best that they can be. However, like many celebrity stars, unfortunately, they all come crashing down, sometimes by their own fault, others not so much. In this book, I attempted to highlight certain things. We go in depth into both of his trials in 2017 and 2018, respectively. What if I told you that these criminal trials were politically motivated by an overzealous district attorney? Will you also be shocked to learn the attacks on Mr. Cosby did not start in 2014, but also in the 90s, not long after his attempted quest to purchase a major network? From where did all of these allegations of sexual misconduct come from? Were the accusers telling the truth? In the 2 years of research, with some help from others interested in learning the truth and facts about this case, we discussed both the legal reasons why his prosecution and trial were illegal, unwarranted, and also the possible personal motives as to why this may have occurred. Most importantly, we warn about the dangers of prejudice and why trial by social media, or mainstream media rather, should never be the norm. All this and more in The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in America. Available on Amazon this fall in Kindle and paperback format. Because on the dance floor is where we'll meet. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the... Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the... Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Now, 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you're breathing, you're achieving. So if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll feel the groove. Get on the floor. Get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the floor, baby. Yeah, gotta get on the floor, baby. Come on, baby, gotta get on the floor, baby. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Good drink, good meat. Good God, let's eat.
What's up, everybody? Welcome one, welcome all. Welcome to another edition, if you will, this fall, to Gavin Reshaw Presents Random Topic Sundays. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Thank you all for tuning in, whoever you are, wherever you are. I hope you are blessed and doing safe. We have a few stuff to get into. A rest easy day. I'm in my Who Dat gear, of course, but normally you probably have seen this. I don't know if you saw my picture. It's Halloween, Hallows Eve, I should say, and we are ready, obviously, to take off. I hope you all are having a good Halloween. This is who I am for Halloween this year. Broke black man. Y'all can see that. But also, this was my costume. I went as Maverick from Top Gun Maverick, which is a pretty cool movie. So I was doing that for Halloween. So that's pretty cool. They got a lot of parties, a lot of stuff going on in New Orleans. I didn't even know, I knew this, I had heard of this, but there's actually people, real life, quote unquote, vampires in New Orleans and Atlanta. And I put that article on my Twitter page, if you watch it via Twitter. God knows I didn't have anything, I guess, on my mind to do. I just started reading on CNN about vampires and how they live in New Orleans and how they don't like to be stereotyped like the movies. Marie Laveau, isn't that white bitch that was doing all experiments on her slaves? Marie Laveau, yeah, I think that's her. Oh, the haunted Marie Laveau. No, I apologize. No, Marie Laveau. I apologize, Miss Laveau. She was the voodoo queen of New Orleans. That's correct. I'm thinking of someone else. I can't think of her name. Tariq Nasheed talks about her all the time. I should know because I'm in New Orleans, but I mean, that also should tell you guys, I don't hang out in the French Quarter that often. Most of the visitors, people that come here for New Orleans are the visitors. That's what the French Quarter, that's what Bourbon Street, that's what downtown is for. New Orleans makes its money on tourism, not on visitors. The residents, we rarely go there. We may go there off and on, but not on occasion. But so that was truly a house of horrors. You know what? I might go and visit her grave if I have time for Halloween. But Delphine LaRue, Delphine LaLaurie, that's her, Madame LaLaurie. Yeah, so that's the evil white bitch. That's her, Madame LaLaurie, not Marie Laveau. Sorry. Uh, yeah, that's her mansion. That was in 1906. So yeah, I mean, it's still there. Although it's now, I don't know what they've done with it. If they made it historic resident, but you see here, Nick Cage actually bought the house. Nicolas Cage, and I believe he sold it. He didn't even stay a year in it, so who knows? It might really be haunted. Yeah, but she would torture her slaves. She was a mass murderer. She was real wicked. And she was born during the Spanish colonial period. Yeah. So yeah, and they set fire. They had a fire that went on at the mansion. The mansion fire. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was big. I hope they burned some of the slave whip. I hope they burned all of the overseers in there. If they, I believe they started the fire. The slaves did. They were even found, according to Martineau. So there was a lawyer that was sent out there, and Harriet Martineau wrote. He's not the Harriet Martineau. Uh, was writing in 1838 and recounted tales told to her by New Orleans residents during her 1836 visit, claimed that slaves of the Lorry were observed to be singularly haggard and wretched, to the point that the rumors about her mistreatment was so bad they had to dispatch an attorney to her residence to remind her of the laws for the upkeep of slaves. Now, he found no evidence of wrongdoing or mistreatment, but we know if it's slavery, you're mistreated anyway, family. Yeah, they had an 8-year-old girl who jumped from the building. They say 12 here, but I thought I read. Yeah, the 8-year-old girl fell to her death from the roof of the Royal Street Mansion while trying to avoid punishment from a whip-wielding LaLaurie. Jean de Levine gave the child's age as 12. Well, it doesn't matter. She's still a baby. Yeah, and Harriet Martineau was a sociologist. Okay. Yeah, she was a writer. But yeah, folks, this is horror. This is Halloween stuff. I mean, they say New Orleans actually is one of the most haunted city is the most haunted city in the world. It wouldn't surprise me. You think of all of the slaves, the history we have here, the deaths, the even from the Civil War, before that, the War of 1820, the Battle of New Orleans, all of that is here. So, are there vampires here? I'm sure they are. We got some bloodsuckers all over the world, different races, different demographics that bloodsuck on that are sucking the life out of this community. You say Savannah? Fuck, Savannah has done. You're putting Savannah, your city, Savannah. So I might do that. Yeah, American Horror Story coming. Right. Well, the French Quarter was rebuilt. Everything started out with the French, because obviously this was French territory at one point. But then it's traded hands, as you know. Spain had it occupied, the Spanish had occupied it as well. And when there was a great fire, I can't think of the year, a lot of the architecture then was developed from Spanish architects. So they built it like that. Just like our laws, a lot of people call it the Napoleonic Code. It's actually incorrect. We're all based off of Roman civil law in New Orleans. But there are aspects, obviously, from French law, Napoleon, that are a part of it. But everybody's assuming that because New Orleans is known as, we have the French streets, Bienville, Iberville, Lafitte, and so forth. But a lot of people don't know that. So Savannah. You might be right. I might go visit if I have time tomorrow, depending on work. I'll do that. Well, Savannah, probably from the Civil War. But New Orleans is, my understanding, is the most haunted city in the world. One of them, at least. CNBC list. Okay, so it's Portland is 10, San Francisco is 9, Chicago is 8. Oh, we can believe that. Charleston, South Carolina. I noticed this as I'm looking through here. You notice they all meant that a few of these cities, they all mention the Civil War. Just looking at that. Chicago, there's over 6,000 Confederate soldiers buried at Oakwood Cemetery during the Civil War in Chicago. Chicago, Illinois, that's the north. St. Augustine, Florida is 6. San Antonio, remember the Alamo. New Orleans is number 4. Marie Laveau. Yeah, Savannah, Georgia. Oh, okay. So Savannah, Georgia is number 1. The Bird Girl statue is from the cover of the book. They don't want me to visit Marie Laveau's grave. Now that's on the edge of the French Quarter in St. Louis Cemetery. Well, we've been surrounded by people, and we've been surrounded by white sheets all the time, so I'm not afraid of no ghost. But let's move on to the topics tonight, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? All right. Well, I might, if I have time, I may do it tomorrow. It is Halloween. All right. Quap Man said, if y'all want me to go send something to the Cash App, y'all see the Cash App, PayPal, Google Pay, Zelle at the bottom. Please donate to the channel. As you know, we're not monetized right now. So I might go, but yeah, if y'all want me to do it, I'll go. Please hit the Cash App up. All right, let's talk about our topics right fast, ladies and gentlemen. So this was big news that happened over the weekend. Sadly, 150 people killed in Halloween Stampede in Seoul, Korea. So apparently at some type of event out in Seoul, Korea, there were, and this is obviously straight out of a horror story, 150 people died in a stampede that occurred in Seoul, Korea. Now, details are vary as to what happened, but we can go right now we can look right here on CNN. There's an article. Well, I don't like doing CNN, but we'll do CNN. Okay, we'll go to KTLA. That's a little bit better. I trust them more than CNN.
Tonight, South Koreans are
This happened on yesterday, so we're talking about And this is mostly young people. So I guess this was some type of Halloween celebration festivities that was going on. And uh, it occurred obviously in a very narrow alley, and at least 151 people, and that number I'm sure is going to be going up, were crushed and died as a result of the stampede, while 82 others have been injured. So I want you all to please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Uh, we're going to also claim fair use, ladies and gentlemen, because they like to throw out some. They like to throw these copyright strikes out at you, even if you're reporting news, which is covered under the fair use section of the Copyright Act of 1976, Section 107. It's for criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. So it's for educational purposes and nonprofit, used to tip the balance in favor of fair use. So let's go ahead and play this article from KTLA, shall we?
Dealing with the aftermath of the country's worst disaster in
years. At least 151 people are dead and more than 80 others are injured after being crushed by a crowd. This happened during Halloween celebrations in Seoul.
Yeah, Chris Wolf joining us live from Koreatown now with reaction from community members tonight. Chris?
That's right, Rick and Karine. Such a tragic story. Tonight, I spoke with people here in Koreatown who have very strong ties to South Korea, even family and friends over there. Some they have not been able to reach. An evening that started in celebration ended in chaos and horror in the South Korean capital of Seoul. Tens of thousands of people packed a popular part of town called Itaewon, known for its vibrant nightlife with bars, restaurants, and clubs. They were celebrating Halloween in the area, which is also a hotspot for tourists. But something caused part of the massive crowd to surge into a tight space, an alley, and during the frenzy, dozens and dozens of people succumbed to the suffocating crush. To make matters worse, the alleyway is on a hill, and witnesses say people at the top of the slope started tumbling down onto others below. It's unclear what triggered the deadly wave of human beings, but South Korean media are reporting a large crowd had rushed to a hotel or club after hearing a celebrity was there. Shockwaves are striking the world, including Southern California and Koreatown.
The number started climbing, and I had no idea what was unfolding, whether it was a mass shooting.
Steve Kang works with the Korean Youth and Community Center. Most of those killed in the catastrophe in South Korea were teenagers and young adults. Kang explains crowds were especially large this year as South Korean government officials lifted COVID restrictions.
Seoul is a city of 10 million people, and many of the young people thought this was the first major public open space party that they could really enjoy. And I feel, unfortunately, that that contributed to this factor.
I do have some family and some friends. I've reached out to most of them. I haven't heard back from all of them, but the ones that I've heard from are safe, thankfully. It's really just heart-wrenching to think that, so much life could be lost and so much potential.
It really does hit home. Yeah. Just number of people there is just not safe. So government really needs to step in and have some type of crowd control available.
All right, take a look. President Biden released a statement, quote, "We grieve with the people of the Republic of Korea and send our best wishes for a quick recovery to all those who were injured. The alliance between our two countries has never been more vibrant or more vital, and the ties between our people are stronger than ever. The United States stands with the Republic of Korea during this tragic time." For now, reporting live in Koreatown, I'm Chris Wolf, KTLA 5 News.
All right, Wolfie, thanks for that. And stay with.
Oh, Lord. Wait, I got to hear that again.
Really needs to step in and have some type of crowd control available.
All right, take a look. President Biden released a statement, quote, "We grieve with the people of the Republic of Korea and send our best wishes for a quick recovery to all those who were injured. The alliance between our two countries has never been more vibrant or more vital, and the ties between our people are stronger than ever. The United States stands with the Republic of Korea during this tragic time." For now, reporting live in Koreatown, I'm
So-
Chris.
I'll stop it there. Yeah, I see. Y'all can't stand Joe Biden. I get it. So they have no details right now, as of now. As of now, I like how I said that, regarding this tragedy that has occurred. But supposedly, the people that were out there had heard a celebrity was there, and they rushed to get over to the hotel, allegedly, and that's what happened. Who knows? Unfortunately, we will never know. With things of this nature, it's sad that these people have died. Now, I'm reading here that this also includes 2 Americans that were killed as well. Of course, they don't have the names of these individuals as of yet. I'm sure more will come as we see here. There have been some that have been identified that were present, who were injured, I guess. One, Nathan Tavernity, who was 24, was on vacation from Australia. He told reporters he was in Ayatawan with 3 friends, and I was there. He says, quote, "I was there the whole night. Some people fell in front of me, and I lost a group of my friends. Somehow I got out, but all 3 of my friends, 2 are in the hospital, and 1 has passed away," he said, fighting back tears. "There was no police. There was nobody to help me. It was just me and other bystanders, and I couldn't do anything." Yeah, it's, I got to say this too, family. When I go out, that's one of the reasons why I don't even go out to like Bourbon Street in the French Quarter, especially around this time when it's Mardi Gras, when it's Halloween and so forth. It's always crowded. Not that I think you would get to a point where we would have a stampede per se. Obviously, New Orleans is not on a hill. It's not a hilly area where that is, unlike this, and it's not, but it is narrow to an extent. Uh, People are constantly walking and moving, going to the next place. And I'm upset and saddened to hear uh, that stuff like that this had happened. It's a tragedy, but you know, I don't really like going out per se into big crowds if I don't have to, and especially if I'm going through a narrow alleyway. I mean, you look at it, y'all see right there. So this is the alleyway that they were walking through. I mean, my goodness. So I don't know how many people were out there at this event, but you're talking about 150 people that were crushed. They say here there was over 100,000 people at this event. 100,000 people. So that tells you all. Just imagine fitting all of those people in that narrow alleyway. All those people going in and out, and you can see it's on an incline. That could, yeah, especially if there's a surge, yeah, I could see how people would be falling into each other. Now, I find it interesting they have not yet identified the Americans who passed away as of yet. Usually they'll get it instantly, but I can imagine it's going to take time because this happened only a day yesterday, and it's been only it's been only less than 24 hours since this happened, and there's 150 people that they've got to identify. Now, someone wrote if they could have done more to prevent this tragedy, and the Interior Minister Lee Sang-ming pushed back against that idea. According to the Korean Herald, they quoted Lee saying that the crush did not seem to be, quote, an incident that could have been prevented by deploying more police or fire officers. They also say that emergency crews nearby had trouble getting to the scene and to the hundreds of victims given the crowd and added traffic congestion. Well, perhaps for an event like this, I would suspect that you would, it's almost the same thing as the Travis Scott event. I would. Well, the thing with Travis Scott too. Well, here's the difference though, Darius. Remember with Travis Scott, you had people who didn't have tickets that were going into there. You didn't have. I don't think people screening other people from coming in, checking tickets. So that was a problem. I think also with this, and I'm not familiar, obviously, with Seoul, Korea, and that neighborhood where they're at, but I would suspect if you're expecting an event where you're going to draw 100,000 people, perhaps the event should be at a place, at a venue that can hold such. I don't know, like in a stadium, for instance, an arena. When we have the NOLA Christmas Fest, for instance, we do all of that in the convention center. So people can actually go inside and get what they want. Now, the French Quarter, people obviously walk through there, but the French Quarter is a nice size area where people can walk. But I don't even like being in it from time to time because it's just it's just packed with people, and even to drive my car through it is just a pain in the ass. When I used to do Uber and Lyft, so uh, my condolences out to the family and friends of these individuals, and also to those that survive who are impacted by this. But uh, we'll continue monitoring it. There may be something that comes up now in the future. Now, something that did come up that happened this past weekend, ladies and gentlemen, uh, on Friday. I don't know if you saw this, but Nancy Pelosi's husband, did y'all see this? Paul Pelosi was attacked in their house in San Francisco. That's our next topic. Paul Pelosi, who is buku rich, that's an old school term, buku rich, was attacked inside his home by a man who, holding a hammer, shouting, quote, "Where is Nancy?" forcing his way into the couple's San Francisco home. And now he's facing charges of attempted murder and some other felonies, obviously breaking and entering and assault with a deadly weapon. I'm sure that will be coming up. So this is a video from the event that we have here.
His husband in the head with a hammer after forcing his way into the couple's San Francisco home. Faces charges of attempted murder and other felonies. Police have not yet offered a motive for Friday's assault on 82-year-old Paul Pelosi, who, according to his wife's office, underwent surgery for a skull fracture and injuries to his hands and right arm, though doctors expect a full recovery.
I would make a brief statement about Nancy and Paul Pelosi.
U.S. President Joe Biden spoke to reporters in Delaware on Saturday about the attack.
Talk to them. He seems to be doing a lot better. Looks like he's going to recover fully. And but also, I don't know for certain, but it looks like this was intended for Nancy. Kept asking, "Where's Nancy? Where's Nancy?"
The House Speaker herself, a Democrat who is second in the constitutional line of succession to the U.S. presidency, was in Washington at the time of the assault. She flew to San Francisco hours after the attack to be with her husband and released a statement on Saturday expressing dismay, saying, quote, "Our children, our grandchildren, and I are heartbroken and traumatized by the life-threatening attack on our pop. The incident stoked fears about political violence less than 2 weeks ahead of midterm elections on November 8th that will decide control of the House of Representatives and Senate, coming amid the most vitriolic and polarized U.S. political climate in decades." Police identified the man arrested at the scene as David DePape. He was taken to a San Francisco hospital, but it was not made clear whether he was there for medical or psychiatric care or both. San Francisco Police Chief William Scott told a Friday news briefing that police detectives, assisted by FBI agents, had yet to determine what precipitated the home invasion, but added,
"This was intentional, and it's wrong."
Well, most crimes are wrong. Yeah. So yeah, did y'all get to see the? Did I share that with y'all? Did y'all get to see it? I'm sorry. Hold on. I'll play it again.
The man who clubbed U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband in the head with a hammer after forcing his way into the couple's San Francisco home faces charges of attempted murder and other felonies. Police have not yet offered a motive for Friday's assault on 82-year-old Paul Pelosi, who, according to his wife's office, underwent surgery for a skull fracture and injuries to his hands and right arm, though doctors expect a full recovery.
I want to make a brief statement about Nancy and Paul Pelosi.
U.S. President Joe Biden spoke to reporters in Delaware on Saturday about the attack.
You know, talk to them. He seems to be doing a lot better. Looks like he's going to recover fully. And but also, don't know for certain, but it looks like this was intended for Nancy. He kept asking, "Where's Nancy? Where's Nancy?"
The House Speaker herself, a Democrat who is second in the constitutional line of succession to the U.S. presidency, was in Washington at the time of the assault. She flew to San Francisco hours after the attack to be with her husband and released a statement on Saturday expressing dismay, saying, quote, "Our children, our grandchildren, and I are heartbroken and traumatized by the life-threatening attack on our pop. The incident stoked fears about political violence less than 2 weeks ahead of midterm elections on November 8th that will decide control of the House of Representatives and Senate, coming amid the most vitriolic and polarized U.S. political climate in decades." Police identified the man arrested at the scene as David DePape. He was taken to a San Francisco hospital, but it was not made clear whether he was there for medical or psychiatric care or both. San Francisco Police Chief William Scott told a Friday news briefing that police detectives, assisted by FBI agents, had yet to determine what precipitated the home invasion, but added,
This was intentional. And it's wrong.
Oh, guys, Dad is right here. Hello, folks. Y'all can't see him. I gotta turn the computer. Yeah. Okay. Well, close the door, Dad. So the music is coming. Noise from the TV is coming in. All right. Yeah, he was coming in to see how I was doing, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. So Darius said, "No wonder Nancy's always in a bad mood. Paul ain't interested in Nancy." I have seen. We're going to talk about Elon Musk in a minute because my next topic is how Elon Musk has purchased Twitter, and maybe I could merge them in all at once because his deal with Twitter has been sealed. Elon Musk is now the sole owner of Twitter, but you have Nancy Pelosi, who is the second in line to the presidency now, or really, I should say, she's the president now because Biden is not running things. I know that Biden is not making those decisions. That's the people that's Pelosi and whoever her cohorts are that are pushing the agenda of the Democratic Party that are running things up there in the White House. But Paul Pelosi, very interesting. I shared this last time. You know that he is a major investor. Paul Pelosi actually made his money working as a business and operating financial leasing services, which is in San Francisco, which is a real estate and venture capital and consulting firm. And his estimated net worth is well over $114 million. They say $130 million. Now, I pointed that out, if you remember, a couple of years ago when we were talking about the loans or the financial monies that was given during COVID-19, the COVID-19 relief bill, and there was debate about giving people money. You know, if you made a certain amount of money and you were married, for instance, and you made over, I believe it was $150,000, well, you didn't qualify for that. If you were single and you made less than $65,000, you qualified for that. But you had multimillionaires like Nancy Pelosi, who's a Democrat, who's worth $130 million combined with her husband, probably a little more than that. And you also had the senator out in Georgia who owned the WNBA team. Her name Kelly Loeffler, who was worth about $800 million. And remember, she lost the election and had to sell the Atlanta Dream because of her remarks. You know, she was a staunch Republican. She is still a staunch Republican and an ally to Donald Trump. Now, we tie that in. Now, supposedly Elon Musk, he shared a link that's being reported on the Insider that says uh, the link said to the article said that um, Paul Pelosi. It says the awful truth: Paul Pelosi was drunk again and in a dispute with a male prostitute early Friday morning. Now, you go to that link, especially on Business Insider, which is where I'm reading it. I can't even access it, but on Elon Musk's page. But let's talk about that for a second. Being that Nancy Pelosi is second in line, and for those that understand the presidential succession, my father was asking me to mean second, and he's thinking that it's the vice president. By what they were saying is the vice president is the first in line of succession. Succession meaning you come in after the president is either deceased or he's incapable of his duties if he becomes incompetent in office. Okay. So your Kamala Harris is the first in line of succession because she's the vice president. Then it's the Speaker of the House, which is Nancy Pelosi, although I think she's running things already. And then after that would be the Secretary of State, because remember before Barack Obama even became president, there were talks that Colin Powell would be president of the United States, and he was Secretary of State, and that was big because he was, I believe, would be third in the line of succession. So they took the link down, into their website. Now, I do know it. I don't like spreading rumors, although, as Judge Joe Brown said, it is San Francisco. They get their freak on in San Francisco all the damn time. I had one of them try and pull something on me. I started to slap his ass with a 38 that I always carry right in my ankle. Little sissified little punks have no clue what man training is. But Judge Joe held his cool. No, I'm sorry. That didn't really happen. I don't want him saying, "What are you talking about, you sissy punk? Lying on me like that." Knowing damn well I don't go to San Francisco. But are you trying to leave? Oh. Now, let's tie it in. Darius said he believes it. I don't want to say something foolishly because I don't have evidence to support that. You know how I am. Would it surprise me if it were true? I probably would not be, given the nature of the Democratic Party and hearing the stuff about not even just San Francisco, but just hearing about how people get their freaks on and stuff like that, politicians and their husbands and their wives. It doesn't surprise me if it did happen. And he hit him with a hammer, apparently. He actually fractured his skull, if I'm not mistaken, from reading this, from this attack. And that's why the guy is charged with attempted homicide. But he came there with a hammer. So he actually could have killed this man. And could it have been a lover's quarrel? Possibly. But do I know that for a fact? No. Am I a fan of? I'm not a fan of Nancy Pelosi. I'm not a fan of Paul Pelosi, obviously. I think they are hindering this country. They are filthy rich, though. And what's interesting, too, just about a couple of months ago, Pelosi was convicted, or he pled guilty, rather, for a DUI. Driving under the influence in Napa County. And he pled guilty and had to pay a $6,800 fine and restitution and complete 3 years of probation. So I'm not a big fan of Paul Pelosi. How you doing, Miss Cheryl? Cheryl Massey says hi, Dad. Hello. I mean, yeah, I've heard stuff about a lot of people. Yeah, Gillum, Beetlejuice up there in Chicago. It's Halloween. I know it's her time to shine. I've heard stuff about Obama. Oh yeah. I can believe some of that stuff, but I'm not gonna say it's true. I'm not gonna say it on here saying it's true. So y'all know how they always already censoring me. But in in talking about this thing, let's get it with Elon Musk. He purchases Twitter now. Elon Musk is now the owner of Twitter, and now you have people that are talking about how scared they are that he is now the owner. Now you know Elon Musk is from South Africa, and we know what South Africa was about, and we know he owns Tesla, and Tesla has a history apparently being sued for racial discrimination. Tesla has, I was listening to Jason Black, and I don't have a Tesla, but I noticed that people actually complain about their car, about it being fixed. He says reportedly they do something to the vehicle where you can't even charge. You can't even charge it, or it won't charge effectively. I don't know how true that is, but if people who have a Tesla know about that, tell me. But I know the guy's freaking rich. And now with him purchasing Twitter, he basically owns a social media platform. He owns a social media platform that now that is occupied basically by everyone in the world. Everybody is connected when you're online, when you're on Twitter. And he has, and this is where we talk about leveling up. This is where we're talking about passing down heritage. We're talking about leaving a legacy for your children. He has done that, whether you like him or not. It's not the same thing, when you are a billionaire already, it is not the same thing as Kanye West. Kanye talked himself out of $1 billion. And I'm looking at people trying to try to say, well, he playing chess moves. If you don't own nothing, you ain't making no chess moves. How you make a chess move and you don't own the board? You don't own the pieces. What chess moves? That's not smart. And to be honest, I think it's and what he was saying, I understood what he was saying, because certain people, and I'm not generalizing all of them, but let's be real, that certain community, and I've said this before, it's been documented, they do and have played a major role. Let's just say this, they've had a major role in the entertainment industry. Can we agree to that? I'm not going to mince my words. The Jewish community, Jewish members have played a vital role in the entertainment industry. And they created, and this is documented, because if you look at, if you read the book, Empire That We've Built, an empire that we've built, it talked about how an empire of their own, I'm sorry, it talked about how the Jew, it's an actual book written in the 80s called How the Jews Invented Hollywood. This is an actual book. So if anybody's going to say I'm saying something hateful, I'm spreading something anti-Semitic, this was a book written by a white man. He wrote this, I believe, a white Jewish person. Neil Gabler. He wrote this. And he lists the names. Harry Cohn, he owned Columbia Pictures. William Fox, obviously 20th Century Fox. Carl Lammel, Louis B. Mayer, Jack and Harry Warner, and Adolf Zucker. So some of that is true. Hell, even in the recording industry, if you ever look up somebody that was wicked, and this is not an indoctrination of Jewish people, I don't want that to be interpreted that way, but this man, Morris Levy, or I should say Sleazy, he was an entrepreneur, and a music publisher, but he was so crooked. He was convicted of extortion back in the 90s because he had ties with organized crime. But what he would do, he would falsely take writing credit from songs written by Black artists like Frankie Lyman. If you saw the movie Why Do Fools Fall in Love, that was about him. At the expense of his artists, that he signed, he would put writing credit on that. Now, as it relates, so I'm reading this and I'm bringing up Kanye while I'm talking about it, because as I'm on Twitter, guys, I'm looking here, and Kanye West has issued a formal apology to blacks over George Floyd, the George Floyd remark that he made. Now I'm going to tie it back with Elon Musk, but listen carefully. This is my first time playing it, but if what I'm seeing, what he's saying here tells me anything, I'm not really interested in his apology. He'd done better being quiet.
To have a knee on my neck. I did that, and I questioned the death of George Floyd. It hurt my people. It hurt the black people. So I want to apologize to her because right now God has shown me by what Adidas is doing and by what the media is doing, I know how it feels to have a knee on my neck now. So I thank you, God, for humbling me and letting me know how it really felt. Because how could the richest black man ever be humbled other than to be made to not be a billionaire in front of everyone off of one comment that actually, if you look at the definition of DEFCON, it means to get extra defense, which obviously I must have needed. Yeah. Did that, and I.
Guys, Dad's leaving because he said bullshit. Say goodbye, Dad.
Bye.
You don't have nothing to say more? You want to say?
Well, I'll stay a little longer.
Oh, you want to?
Well, first of all,
come a little closer.
Sure. First of all, Kanye is a damn fool for thinking that Adidas was not going to drop him, and in doing so, he lost out on $400 million.
No, he's worth $400 million now, but his net worth was $1.9 billion reported.
But how much did he lose?
Because of the net worth is earning potential. Mm-hmm. So he lost $1 billion reportedly. So how's that a chess move? You go from a billionaire to a millionaire.
It was a stupid move.
Why?
He shouldn't have said a thing because it's strictly business. The purpose of business is to make money. He could have helped his people more by making more money and placing money into the black community or in areas that needed more money to develop communities, and those communities are not getting money because they're black.
Right.
So he was foolish for making that statement.
Well, the thing I noticed that he got punished for, if you notice, and I want everybody to pay attention, he's losing his business deals because of what he said about Jewish people, not because of what he said about George Floyd and black people. And I want y'all to pay attention to that. And because even CNN did an article, and I'm going to share with y'all, but if you read this CNN article right here, and no, do I like the dogpiling of Kanye West? I'm not going to keep dogpiling on Kanye, but they talked about this. I was just reading it. They actually have a very interesting article. Kanye West's anti-Semitism did what his anti-blackness did not, and some people have a problem with it. In a way, I do. In a way, I do, because if we're talking discrimination and equal rights and everybody's free and this and that, then they should be upset and had a problem with what he said. And even when he made the remark about slavery being a choice. Now, I understand to a degree, when you say slavery can be a choice, in the sense that, well, Harriet Tubman herself even said this. She said, I freed thousands, but I could have even more had they rode with me. There were people that chose to stay in that predicament. But he comes on, he's not the most, let's just put it away, he's not the most intellectual person. He doesn't say things correctly that you should say it. Minister Farrakhan can say this and not be offensive to black people. He knows what to say and he will critique black people, but he's going to also critique the white man for what he's done.
But
And
Harriet Tubman also said, I could have freed more of them if they knew they were slaves.
she did say that. And
I know she said
yeah,
that.
and then yeah, but that's the point that I'm saying.
Right.
Right. Just like just like if you saw the movie Roots, when Kunta Kinte wanted to take not his real wife, not the wife he eventually had, but the girl he was on the boat with him.
Right.
He went to find her so they could escape to the north. She refused to go. And he got, you know the story of Kunta Kinte and what happened to him, regardless of whether you think Alex Haley's book was truthful or not. But that's the point I was making. Yeah, and Run DMC gave him life. And Adidas, Adidas actually has ties to the Nazi party. They were actually giving them the shoes, the sneakers, and so forth. So, it became popular here in America after World War II because and I showed the article when the United States Air Force, or as the United States Army Air Corps, as they were called back then, they occupied that city where the Adidas factory was. They started to get the sneakers and so forth. They liked them, and they had to make them for them. So that's how it became popular over here in the United States. And it got even more popular because of Run DMC. All they wore was Adidas. They put Adidas on a map in the 80s. Black people have made a lot of money for these companies. And you know what? They got to start charging them. But you see the difference now. Elon Musk can say whatever the hell he wants and not get in trouble, talking about the Speaker of the House's husband, sharing that article and not get in trouble, and because nothing's going to happen to Elon Musk. And what can you do? How you going to hurt a billionaire? And Kanye, of course, and this is the difference between black folks having power and white folks. Why I say blacks can't be racist. We have no power.
That's right.
Kanye West, if he had power, he could walk away with his money. He wouldn't have to worry about that. And he's still a millionaire. He's not going to be, he's hurting, but he's going to be well off unless he did something utterly stupid in spending his money. But tie that in with Elon Musk. You had some Negroes, I want to get back to this, that are scared. And as soon as he purchased it, because as soon as I got on here, I was listening to Jason Black on yesterday. I ran across some tweets from some people. Now, I love Tony Braxton as a singer, but for Tony Braxton actually wrote this. I saw a couple other celebrities that wrote this. She said she is quitting Twitter. People are quitting Twitter. I'm shocked and appalled at some of the free speech I've seen on this platform since its acquisition. Hate speech under the veil of free speech is unacceptable. Therefore, I am choosing to stay off Twitter as it is no longer a safe space for myself, my sons, and other people of color. And somebody replied, I'm not a POC, and at this point, ATP, that term is not a description for American descendants of emancipated freedmen. Free people of color was the classification of the terms used for enslaved and free blacks. POC means immigrants, foreign-born individuals. But, and someone wrote, oh, please buy. Look at it, and someone was quoting, this person obviously was supposedly quoting all of the Democratic leaders that made some comments like Maxine Waters. She did say that if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, you get out and you create a crowd and you push back on them. Yeah, they did say that. But here's the thing. Tony Braxton has over 1.8 million followers. And as of now, I don't see any indication that her account has been canceled or closed. Obviously not, because if I can click on it, it's still there. I see her sisters. I see Kelly Rowland. LeBron James has commented, and that was the big one. LeBron actually said he doesn't know who Elon Musk is. Seriously, LeBron. You never heard of Tesla? I'm sure you got a few. I don't know if he has a few Teslas in his car, in his garage. He can afford them. But he says, I don't know Elon Musk, and to be honest, I could care less who owns Twitter. But I would say that if this is true, I hope he and his people take this very seriously because this is scary. So many damn unfit people saying hate speech is free speech. And they reportedly said that since Elon Musk purchased Twitter, the use of the N-word jumped about almost 500,000 after his takeover. Now, something else. Now, let me just say this. LeBron is about 2 years older than me. You mean to tell me you've never encountered racism? What are y'all Negroes scared of? I always talk about you scared of this. I'm scared of that. You grew up. I grew up. I remember when I was 6 years old, when the LA riots happened. I remember watching Malcolm, my mother taking me and my brother to see Malcolm X. And the opening of Spike Lee's Malcolm X, the first thing we see is Rodney King getting beat up. I remember the OJ trial. I remember seeing how when he was acquitted, the blacks cheering. And I remember when the whites, when they put the camera to the whites and how they reacted.
Racism is the
I
most,
remember.
Go ahead.
I remember stuff like that. Go ahead, Dan. Say what you got to say.
Racism is the most vile act against freedom or free speech in this country. And it is so vile that it needs to be identified and eradicated from society because it takes away any equality, any authority. It pits brother against brother and children against parents. It is the ultimate evil. When God created mankind, the book of Genesis tells us, we will make man in our own image. He didn't say we will make Asian people or Asian race or white race or Caucasoid race, Caucasian race or black race or red race. He said we will make mankind. Man created racism for its purpose of securing power over another. So racism is not of God. It is pure evil.
Yeah. But, and I don't doubt this because Elon Musk. See, now here's my thing. And with Twitter, I have had issues with Twitter because even before Elon Musk happened, you all know this, you said anything, it could be considered hateful, hate speech. I was ribbing someone back and forth who was attacking me, and I got suspended for a whole week for bullying, even though they were instigating with me. They didn't get in trouble, and I believe they reported me. And also I've seen a lot of black YouTubers, a lot of our content creators who have been suspended for saying even harmless stuff. So I hate censorship like that. Of course, we don't like it when someone is being bullied, if someone's making racist remarks, truly hateful things. I remember LeBron, yeah, that's true. LeBron had that incident where someone spray painted the word nigga on his house, on his front door. So it's not the first time he's did that, but why are y'all scary of this? This scares me. This scares me. You know what you can do? Create your own platform to combat this stuff. That's the thing that Kanye could do. That's the thing that, we try to get a lot of these multi-millionaires to come and support you, these athletes. They ain't going to do that because they don't want to mess up their money. Right? LeBron James would, Jay-Z, everybody thought Jay-Z was making power moves with the NFL. He didn't make no power move. He did something for himself. He wasn't doing nothing for you. What has that done? His thing with the NFL, how's that worked out? That's the same. This is the same crowd that's telling people to go out and vote blue no matter who. These are some of the same people. Shonda Rhimes talking about she's quitting Twitter. You don't have to announce you don't have to announce your departure. It's not an airport. Leave if you don't want to be on there, but you're still on here. It's because you want to have your way. Don't be upset at this man, and I'm not, because he did something that most Americans can't do. You want something, create it on your own or work for it. And you know what? He says something hateful. Fine, we can walk away from it. Let's not patronize him stuff. Fuck his Tesla. Forget buying Tesla. Don't buy stock in it.
The best way to hurt anyone, and this goes from whether you're a president endorsing something or people endorsing Adidas or Tesla, the best way to hurt someone is to hurt them in their pocket. And I keep going back whenever I get a chance to discuss how do you hurt people who are racist. You don't support them economically. That's one of the reasons why the Birmingham boycotts was so successful. It took bus fare to show the people of Birmingham that we are nothing without the people that we hate the most. So boycott people. Don't spend your money where they are. Keep your money in your pocket or put it in a bank or save it or buy another product. But don't spend your money.
Right.
That's how you get rid of racism and the people who are racist. And you must fight.
Right. Why wouldn't LeBron buy Twitter? He's a billionaire. He has a partial ownership of a soccer team.
He didn't want to.
He didn't want to. Bill Cosby wanted to buy NBC. He had the investors. He had a group of investors that was there. They were going to buy that. Right. And I can guarantee you, if Dr. Cosby had bought NBC or any of these networks, the crap that you see on there now, especially the reality TV shows, the basketball wives, my ex-husbands, the basketball exes,
90 Day Fiancé.
Love and Hip Hop Miami, Love and Hip Hop on Mars, anything like that, that wasn't going to happen. And they fought him tooth and nail over it. They've destroyed his legacy on bullshit charges that could not be proven in a court of law. You read my book, The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby, right now on Kindle. You get the whole scoop of it, that it was not about justice in there. They stacked the deck against Mr. Cosby. They don't like black men to get their intellectual property rights on. That's why Sam Cooke is no longer with us. That's why Michael Jackson is no longer with us. I've heard stuff about James Brown and Otis Redding and even Prince, Tupac. You ever noticed every time a black man tries to get some money, try to get the intellectual rights, they die mysteriously? You ever think about that? Sam Cooke dies in a seedy hotel, and they said he tried to rape a prostitute with $5,000 in his pocket. That makes sense? We haven't resolved that. So if there's a valuable lesson to be learned by Elon Musk, the old saying, don't hate the player, hate the game. Or now we should say, don't hate the player, win the game, even if it is rigged. There are ways around this. Let's put our monies together. If we don't have money, let's put our abilities together and let's buy back the block. Let's do stuff. We know that they're not going to fix, for instance, we know that they're not going to fix New Orleans East. They didn't do it after Katrina. They haven't done it now. We have to be the ones to do it. And make it better. I heard stories back in the day how the men used to police their own neighborhoods. How neighbors used to look out for each other. If somebody was breaking in a house, that happened with my mom when she was a kid. They had somebody breaking in her home at night. The neighbor across the street shot at the man to stop him. That's not going to happen today. People mind their own business. But let's buy back the block. And no, we don't have to wait on a Floyd Mayweather or we damn sure we ain't waiting on Kanye. But Kanye could have done better if he just kept his mouth shut. Shit. You compare I know what my knee on my neck is because Adidas has cut my deal. You begged Adidas to do it. Give me a break. He dared them to do it.
And they did it.
Yeah. That's not a chess move. They don't need you. But look, I wasn't going to be on here live tonight, long tonight. It's Hallows Eve. I know while you all will be enjoying Halloween, I actually will be out and about at work, trying to take care of some stuff at in court. So I will have fun with y'all. I might come on tomorrow. If I have time, I go live. I might be able to go and look up some go do some stuff at the haunted house or whatever I could show y'all. I also have what else I have to do? Some other stuff I'm gonna be doing. So yeah, it's gonna be big. Actually, when I get off here, I'm gonna put a post up because you all may not know, but I made some Halloween pumpkins with my lady. So we're actually gonna go in and we're gonna have a poll, see who y'all think won the best who y'all think won the jack-o'-lantern contest. So I'm gonna do that when I get off the air. But if you have any last things to say, Dad?
No.
All right. Well, thank y'all for tuning in. Of course, to support this channel, donate to the Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button right now, ladies and gentlemen. If you have not subscribed to this channel, share this live stream with everyone. Also, please, 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 you can support this channel if you like to advertise with us by emailing me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com. Also, Patreon, you can go to the channel, GB2786. Support, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be uploading some videos from my comedy shows there. Also, get your Creole seasoning from Nonny's, ladies and gentlemen. Nonny'sCreoleBlends.com. Trying on chicken, meat, or fish. Nonny's goes great with every dish. Getting in time for the holidays. And of course, we have our music video sold and got to get up on iTunes, ladies and gentlemen. So it has been a great podcast. Yeah, Kanye has. He's not been the same since the death of his mother, Donna West. And I think that has taken a lot out of him because she was basically a filter, I would think. Or maybe a filter is not the correct terminology. I would say she was semi-puppeteer to her because she would direct her son and what moves to make. A filter is when the water is already processing out. So I don't think he was filtering, but I think she was in some way directing him. And he's lost that sense of direction. When you lose a parent, that's very hard. His father is still alive, but I don't know what his relationship with his father is like. But he called Donald Trump his father. He said Donald Trump was like my father. When I heard that, and his dad is still alive, that was hard to take. That was disrespectful. But people have different relationships with their parents. Luckily, mine are still alive. So, all right, guys. Tune in for me. I might come on tomorrow.
Also, don't forget, stamp out racism wherever you see it, expose it, and eradicate it. We can't allow it to continue.
All right. Well, you heard that from Dad, okay? I'll talk to y'all on the next one, guys. Love you. Peace out. Now we've gotten on down. It's time to get on up.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat, cause on the dance floor is where we'll meet. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel. We gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Now, 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you're breathing, you're achieving. So if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll meet.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up
and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor.
Get on up, baby. Yeah, gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on